maybe not like reviewing per se, because I think like you can find some obscure people who did it.
Yeah.
But he made it popular, and he made it so that you finally realized that people could actually watch a show not just because of the game, but because of the character, because of the persona, and then it built up like a credibility when you're talking about something. And so I was very involved like in forums such as this, like Screwtack.com, and like all the retro gaming forums, and then after starting, like I first started doing fan sub for the VGN in French, and actually at some point it was on the Cinemassacre website. We had like a French AVGN website with like there was like only like maybe 10 reviews that were like subtitled, but it was cool. We liked it, and actually it would make me practice my English a lot. And basically during summer 2008, after I graduated, like I had nothing to do during the whole summer. I was with my grandparents, and I was like I kept watching the videos, and I was like, you know, guys, like. When I would pop in, you know, like in the retro gaming forums, I was like, "You guys know Jim Power and the Atari ST? That was the shit." Like, we have no idea what that is. Like, you guys know Metamorphic Force by Konami? Like, it's awesome. No,
and
we
they
don't
had no
know.
idea about it.
So I was like, "Do you guys play Solstice on the NES?" Like, no.
What the fuck is that?
I'm like, fuck. Okay, well, there you go. Like, I think I can bring something to the table, because I couldn't find even like a review or even sometimes like playthrough of these games, especially like Metamorphic Force, for example. So I was like, okay, I want to put these games under the spotlight, and I want to share my favorite games, my personal games that didn't get to be under the spotlight. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start my show like this.
And I'm also a video reviewer, and I reviewed Duke Nukem first one.
Oh, the first one.
Yeah, and it was kind of amazing that many people haven't heard of it.
I know, no, yeah.
What the hell, man?
But I mean, like, but it's because it's not that good of a game anyway.
Yeah.
Like, if you compare it to games on the Super Nintendo at the time, like you wouldn't play Duke Nukem over Super Mario Worlds at the time, like because the first Duke Nukem they were, you know, like they were very basic, and that's why I guess like only like when Duke Nukem 3D and finally brought something super new to the table that people like then moved on to Duke Nukem. Yeah.
Well, I think it was more of that because games like Duke Nukem, you didn't see many of them on PC. You just saw them on consoles, but you didn't see on PC. So that's a thing.
Oh yeah, well,
it was a real, maybe not revolutionary, but interesting game to see on a PC.
Basically, Apogee Software, like and id Software, like they were good at like making console games for the PC crowd that couldn't play like Mario. So you had like from like Jack Jazz Rabbit and this sort of game, Jill the Jungle. They kind of play like they're basically like console games for PC, and that's why I think it's sometimes funny when like people are like, oh my god, like, you know, this game like it plays too much like PC or it plays too much like console. Whereas like I perfectly remember that time where a lot of PC game and Amiga games or Commodore 64 games tried to be NES or SNES games. Like there's so many Sonic clone on the Amiga. I could name a few like Super Frog or Brian the Lion. They're basically clones of Sonic.
And I never heard of it.
Maybe that's for the better.
They're pretty good actually.
Oh, well, yeah. Tell about something about yourself. You know, personally tell about yourself. You don't have to tell like your shoe number or anything like that. just tell about yourself personally, about something that people might not know of you. What kind of guy are you?
Well, I'm a basement dwelling nerd. I basically I live at night. So like for the longest time I've been waking up at 6 p.m. something like that, and I would actually just work all night and then go to bed when my girlfriend would wake up. Basically when she would wake up, it reached for me to time like, oh shit, like probably time for me to go to bed.
But you're a special nerd. You have a girlfriend.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think it's still like a little bit of a stereotype. Well, it's fun to make fun of it, you know. But when you go to a convention, you see a lot of couples, and these conventions are not for like baseball player or like football player or like very popular.
No, they're not for jocks.
For cheerleaders or whatever. Like no, they're for nerds, and you see a lot of couples, and and a lot of couples are formed during conventions, and I think that's beautiful.
It's true.
But yeah, so I think whenever actually when you go to a convention like a nerdy convention, like and you see like so many couples or just so many girls and so many boys, and you're like, well, actually, like, you know, it is a stereotype, especially maybe it was true like maybe like 15 years ago or 20 years ago when people didn't have the internet, like just to meet like different people like they were, like people with a very niche, you know, like interest in things.
Yeah.
But now, like, there's no frontier, so you can meet any people with the same kind of interest as you. So it's very easy to find someone you can relate to.
That's true.
So I think that the fact that I have a girlfriend doesn't make me a superhuman. It just makes me a normal person. And I think that
Yeah, but I think there's also a little bit of truth that when I that the nerds are lonely.
Yeah.
When I noticed that when I say to girls that I'm a game reviewer and I have a media site which is specialized in video games, they're gone.
Well, yeah, but
oh my god! But there are also very pretty girls.
Yeah, but if you say so at a convention, they will be interested.
They're gonna be all over you.
Basically, guys,
guys,
if you want an advice, like if she walks away after you say something that's that you're passionate about, then it was not meant to happen.
That's true.
It doesn't mean that all girls are fucking boring or don't like video games. It just means that she was not into it. There you go. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, that's true.
And in these conventions, like in this Animecon, I was surprised that there's girls coming hugging me.
Oh yeah.
Oh
of
my
course.
god, I love your stuff.
Oh great.
And that's
I'm not surprised, man.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing.
That's great. They are gamer girls.
And I got to sign boobs at this convention.
Oh.
So
I signed one boob.
Oh, good for you.
Hey, let's hope your girlfriend doesn't see this.
Well, she's used to it by now.
All right.
It's just one boob. It's not both.
Yeah. Well, all right. We discussed a little bit about how these
chicks and.
But we at the start of this interview, we discussed a little bit about how this con went for you. But let's discuss a little bit more. What have you really thought about this, and how do you think it has been rolling overall?
As I said, like in the closing ceremony, like I thought this was one of the best con experience, and I'm not saying that just to be nice or whatever. Like it's just so passionate and actually, like the sign in like on Saturday went on great, and I got to sign boobs. And
oh my god!
But then like the vendors and everything, like it's not super crowded, so you can actually breathe and walk. And then like you have a great like setup like for a little restaurant for guests. So you don't have like, because I've been to convention where it's like, well, have a sandwich and shut up and. And like, well, I'm a guest and I don't feel like, people like, took care of like what I would eat or whatever. And I don't want to be pampered, but there's, like it's different. And here, like, it's a great venue, great hosting of the guests. I've been to Harald and we had the shield of desserts, and that's taking care of your guests. And then like, I was like, I'm gonna be sad if I'm not invited next year because I'm surely gonna miss the shield of desserts and the shields of starters as well. It was very good, and so like people took very good care of us. And as far as the convention itself is concerned, like the panels were fun, the people were very supportive. There was a lot of cosplayer. Like we were talking about this with Kaiser Neko from Team 4-Star. Like, let's say like you have a very high percentage of cosplay people. Yeah. Really, like a lot of people are in costume. And like, holy shit, like that's cool. Whereas like usually like there's like a few people in costume and they get like bombarded with like photography. But here, like everybody's costume, and it makes it very colorful. So it's a smaller scale. It's a smaller scale convention, but I've been to bigger conventions that didn't have like the 50-piece orchestra rendition of Evangelion, and then like that moved in to Escaflowne. Yeah. Like that was like amazing, and then they did like a rendition of Mononoke. Yeah. And I was like, oh, you're kidding me? Like this, like a lot of bigger conventions don't have shit on this one. It's amazing. Yeah. Come next year.
Well done, Animecon. Well done.
Yeah, very well done.
And other cons out of Finland, take a learn.
Yeah. Take a learn. Yeah.
Yeah. But all right. So you already said what was the thing that you did over here, but tell a little bit more. What was the reason we were here?
Alright, so I originally was invited, I think because they were really interested into having like an hentai panel.
Alright, yeah.
Because I guess like Passy and the other guys from the conventions, like they really like the